nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, wa ni'mal mawla, wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, wa ni'mal mawla, wa ni'mal nasir. या मौला मेहरबान मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मदद फरमा तौफीक ताईद हिम्मत हो यारी मौला. So we have gathered here to study our book Practical Sufism and Spiritual Science, and we are discussing the chapter Blessed Names of God, May He be Exalted. And last time we did some question and answer session, and today we start with point number 5, correct?
Yes,
G.
correct.
Who's reading?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Point number 5. It is necessary to mention the Adam of the cycle in the subject of divine names, because God taught his vicegerent the realities of things in the illumination of the light of his attributive names. Since the universe, heaven and earth, is a compendium of things, therefore, by the realities of things is meant the knowledge of the universe. This shows that God had taught Hazrat Adam the cosmic knowledge from the treasures of his names.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So in this paragraph, Allama Buzrugwar is saying that Adam of the cycle in the subject of divine names. So we do know, right, in the story of Adam, he was taught all the names. Now, what are these names? These are askar. These are asma-e izam. The knowledge of the whole universe. Everything which is in the microcosm and macrocosm actually are encompassed in the names of Allah. Asma-e Sifat, these divine names which were taught to Adam. So it is important that we should mention Adam. Adam, when we talk of Adam, we are not talking about just one Adam. There have been multiple Adam. But in the story of Adam, the reason that Mustajib becomes the Adam, when he completes the Isma Azam, even after that, Allah teaches him Asma-e Izam. And through those names, he is able to learn the realities of all the things, whatever is there in the universe. It is through Zikr Ibadat that he learns everything what is in the universe. Since the universe, which includes heavens and the earth, is a compendium of things, therefore by the realities of things is meant the knowledge of the universe. Now the question here would be, how did he, just by knowing the names, came to learn the knowledge of the whole universe? If we were to simply talk about that name as Isme Azam, when we do say Sata Shabad hai Guru Hamara, in that one word, Imam is encompassed within it. Imam, who is Wakulle Shain Asainahu fi Imam Mubin. Everything is encompassed within the Imam. And Imam is encompassed within that word. And when a Mu'min Salik, here Adam, when he learns this Asma, he completes this Asma, he becomes knowledgeable of all the realities of all the things. Meaning, he is someone now that he himself now encompasses all the knowledge which is in the heavens and the earth. Nothing is beyond his reach. The question would be here, how does that happen? For that, we will have to understand the concept of the world of particles. If someone says, tell me, how do you think everything is encompassed in Imam? How is it happening? How Imam, who seem just like us, how can the whole universe be within him? And when we talk of Imam, Imam is not just the Imam of this planet. We're talking about universe, all the planets. How within Imam the whole universe is encompassed? It is encompassed in the form of particles, in the form of its essence. Adam, when he is able to complete the name Asma Izam, and when Allah says to the angels to prostrate to him, and then angels do ask, how come we are going to prostrate to him? And Allah actually asks Adam, and Adam is able to tell the realities of all the things. And angels seeing that immediately prostrated, meaning that Adam, through the names of Allah, blessed names of Allah, he himself had the knowledge of the whole universe. In other words, he became one with the Imam. How? By knowing those names. This shows that God had taught Hazrat Adam the cosmic knowledge from the treasures of his names. What is the treasure here? His names. Zikr, Isme Azam, Azkar, Asma Izam, Kalma Tamat. All these are his names. Zikr, Ibadat. Through these names, all the cosmic knowledge was given to Hazrat Adam. The angels, why don't you read that?
Point number 6. The angels, who first of all prostrated themselves to Hazrat Adam, the vicegerent of God, falling into his personality, were particles consisting of subtle matter and soul. They have many names, such as Zarat, particles, Zuriyat, offspring, Arwah, souls, Malaika, angels, Yajuj wa Majuj, Gog and Magog, Junud, armies, Thamarat, fruits, Tufan, flood, Ter, birds, Hijara, stones, Nujum, stars, Jibal, mountains. They have all these different names because they work in so many positions. From this you can assess how exalted was the position of Hazrat Adam's knowledge of names, which was not only in words, but also in the form of unprecedented practical models.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So all these examples, which are kind of difficult, different, but then Allama Sahib says all these different names actually means the same thing. They may work in different positions, but in reality they means the same thing. And yes, we are talking about Adam and those angels who first of all prostrated themselves to Hazrat Adam, who was the Khalifa of Allah, the vicegerent of God, falling into his personality. Now, we do know when we prostrate, we are prostrating. These angels' prostration was strange that they were falling into his personality. Meaning what? This sajda was actually from the world of particles. meaning it was all happening in the personal world of Adam. This Majiza, which we hear with all these examples, all this was happening within the personal world. And when we look at these names, Zarrat, the particles, Zuriyat, offsprings, Arwah, souls, Malaika, angels, Yajuj o Majuj, Junud, Samarat, Tufan, Tayir, Hijara, Najum, Jibal, all these examples actually are different, but the essence is actually one and the same. So let's take few examples and we can understand, right? When we talk of zarrat, it is particles. Where are these particles? Within the personal world. When we talk of arwah, all these souls, it's within the personal world. Zuriyat, offspring, those who are not children, where are they? They are in the body, in the personal world. Malaika, angels are within our being. Junud, all the armies of the angels within our being. Samarat, fruits within our being. When we talk of Jibal, mountains, allegorically it means intellect. They are also within our being. So all these terms seem very different, very big, conceptually different, but in reality, all these miracles are happening within the personal world. They have all these different names because they work in so many positions. From this, you can assess how exalted was the position of Hazrat Adam's knowledge of names. So definitely we are talking about the blessed names, right? And Adam, who was knowledgeable of all the names. And these knowledge was not limited in words, but also in the form of unprecedented practical models. Practical models? What does that mean? Let's take just example of Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog. Do you know that so many scholars, worldly scholars, are still confused, and there are so many confusing stories about Gog and Magog that it's crazy. If you were to start picking up Tafasir books and start reading how the different scholars have talked about Gog and Magog, it's so conflicting, so confusing. But we just take the example of Allama Buzrugwar, and if I may tell you his experience, how did he learn about Gog and Magog? He was studying these verses and he's asking in his batin that Mola, I don't know what is this Gog and Magog. And Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, he was in Yarkand at that time, and Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's didar was bestowed upon him. He's sitting and he's studying and he's actually doing Giryazar in his heart that Mola, what does it mean? And there's a beautiful verse, O Hiran ki Gusambam. So I'm missing one line. He asks Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah that who are these Yajuj or Majuj? And Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah replies, O Hiran ke Gusambam, meaning these Yajuj and Majuj are nothing but a man or a woman, man and a woman. Meaning that they are world of particles. They are world of particles, referring to men and women. All these knowledge of Quranic concepts, these terms are given in Quran with so many different contexts happening in the past. How would Adam learn and understand in today's time the meaning, the deeper meaning, the Tawili meaning of all these concepts? It all happened because of his blessed names. So when we read this unprecedented practical models, I would say Gog and Magog is one of that example. Let's take the example of Tufan, flood, deluge of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. Researchers are researching, scientists are seeing this big board they found, and they are saying this is the ark of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, etc., etc. But the Tawil teaches us that this flood is the flood of ignorance. Those who will not seek knowledge, those who will not have faith in Zikr Ibadat, Ilm Amal, they will drown in this flood of ignorance. And this flood is still going on in today's time. So, a concept of past but being applicable in today's time. You take any of these concepts, all these are practically prevalent right in front of us in today's time. All this Tawili knowledge was given to Adam due to these blessed names, exalted names of Allah. Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Ji.
Point number 7. All means of spiritual knowledge were available in the personal world of Hazrat Adam, such as Alam-i-Zar, the world of particles, which has already been mentioned, spiritual resurrection, luminous movies, observations with the eye of certainty, revelation, inspiration, manifestations, visualizations, and finally in the sacred sanctuary there was everything. Thus God had bestowed the wealth of ultimate knowledge upon his vicegerent.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Subhanallah. So we've been talking about that. Same thing is being mentioned in this point, that Hazrat Adam actually in his personal world, he sees the Alam-e-Zar. He sees the Alam-e-Zar. And due to this Alam-e-Zar, he was able to understand, experience, realize, go through Ruhani Qiyamah, Nurani movies, Mushahidat, seeing things with his own eyes. So when I just referred to Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, this was his Mushahida. That Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah literally comes and gives him the answer, what he was asking. A Mu'min Salik can see that in his personal world. Then we do know revelation in the case of Hazrat Paigambar Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inspiration, ta'id, manifestations, tajalliyat, visualization, and finally in the sacred sanctuary there was everything. So the journey of Mu'min and Sadiq starts by identification, having the knowledge, the realization of personal world. The roof of personal world, the end status of the personal world is the Haziratul Quds. And at Haziratul Quds, everything is available. Haziratul Quds, everything is there. And Adam, being the vicegerent of Allah, reached at Haziratul Quds. Meaning, God had bestowed the wealth of ultimate knowledge. The highest, most secrets of Allah was given to his vicegerent. Vicegerent meaning Khalifa. Khalifa meaning sitting at the place of God, meaning knowing everything. And that Majiza happened due to the names of Allah. So by reading this, we are learning about Adam, but for us, we recognize the importance of zikr, how important it is to be in realization and doing zikr in abundance. Ji.
Point number 8. Since this book is related to spiritual science, therefore, I deem it necessary to say that wherever in the Quran the story of Adam is mentioned, it represents countless Adams, as the word man represents countless men. Similarly, reflect carefully on verse, Quranic reference, chapter 24, verse 55, which alludes to innumerable vicegerents. Why not, while there is room for many vicegerents on every star, and the stars are so many that it is extremely difficult to count them?
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Allama Sahib is giving us all the secrets now. Definitely, this book is about spiritual science, right? So Allama Sahib is saying that whenever we read Adam, it is not just about one Adam. It is talking about multiple Adams. The 7,000 circle keeps going on and on and on, right? So there are countless Adams in this secrets which Adam is aware. We're not talking about just one Adam, Adam is Sirindipi, who was 7,000 years ago. No, we're talking about Adam before him, the Adam before him, the Adam before him. There has been so many Adams. All the Adams actually were his vicegerent. And in the case of Adam and Sirindipi, we do know his name was Tahum bin Bajla. Adam is the title. His name was Tahum bin Bajla, who was the vicegerent of Allah. And in chapter 24, verse 55, which is known as Ayah Khilafat, Ayah Khilafat, in which it says that those who are righteous, Allah has promised them to grant them the authority, succession upon the earth, meaning that He's going to make them Khalifa. So when we read that, it cannot be about just one person. The way when we read about men, it's just not one man, but countless men. So when we reflect on this verse, we are able to draw that conclusion that the vicegerent is not just one. There are so many vicegerent. And interestingly, here Allama Sahib is also talking about stars. Stars in itself are planet. So do we think there is no life there? What happens, the issue is the scientists are looking for life to be lived as human. But in reality, every star has a life. There are beings there. And there is population there whose vicegerent, whose Khalifa is Adam in his time. And Adam is Zaman is Hazri Imam. Hazri Imam being the Adam is Zaman, being the Imam, he is that vicegerent, he is that Khalifa above all this universe. So many stars. So Khalifas can be so many. Why would we limit to only the Earth planet? If we talk of other stars, why not? There is room for many vicegerent on every star. And the stars are so many that it is extremely difficult to count them. So he's giving us this example of stars, that each star can have a Khalifa. So similarly, when we talk of Adam, it's not just one Adam, it is multiple Adam. But we do understand that Imam is the Imam on the whole universe. However, when we look at all other planets, there is life and there is a possibility of Khalifa there too. Why? Allah has no limitations. Ji.
Point number 9. The idea of creation should be repeatedly mentioned. It is a continuous circle which has no end. If paradise and its bounties are forever, if the creatures of paradise are forever, then the universe also is forever, because paradise depends on the universe. All these points are in the light of the Quran and spirituality. Daim 13 by 35, Mukalladun 56 by 17, Damat 11 by 108. Respected teacher, Nasiruddin Nasir Hubbi Ali Hunzai, Karachi, Saturday, 8th Ramadan 1417, 18th January 1997. Shukran lillah.
Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. So this ends truly this chapter, that we should be talking about the idea of creation repeatedly. We should be. Why? Because we do need to understand that there is no beginning, there is no end. It is a continuous circle. And when we talk of paradise and its bounties, they are forever. Therefore, creatures of paradise forever. Universe is forever. Because paradise depends on the universe. So it is interlinked, interrelated cycle which is constantly going on and on and on. There's no beginning, there's no end. Today, those who are in universe will be going to paradise. And then, when the cycle is changed and Imam wants, people can be in this universe. And it keeps on going on and on and on. There's no end there. All this knowledge of cycles going on and on is actually hidden in the blessed names of God. May He be exalted. When we seek this knowledge, actually we are seeking knowledge of those names only. So in reality, when we read this whole chapter, we were understanding how is He Khalik. He's always been a Khalik. So how is He Khalik? Only that one name. We've been praising, remembering that name, that He is Khalik. He's a creator. How is He creator? He is the creator of the personal world. He is the creator of the macrocosm, the universe. And that's what we just did. Meaning that His names are so powerful. Within His names, all what we seek is encompassed. But what happens when we seek knowledge with intellect and we are doing this zikr, it all becomes one after a point in time. And that is what we see in the example of Adam alayhi salam. That when he completed his Asma Izam with, of course, desire of learning knowledge and seeking knowledge, he was bestowed ilme laduni, the given knowledge. And this path is available for anybody and everybody who want to walk on this path by meeting all the requirement, all the conditions. Alhamdulillah, we continue to do his zikr and his remembrance and his name with his knowledge. May Mawla bestow his mercy upon our poor soul, and we get to seek his didar and come close to his nur. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Anyone has any questions?
I have a question. I'm sure you covered it. I just might have missed it. But um, when you said Imam is Imam, he's Imam of the universe, of everything created. So if there are vicegerents on or caliphas on all the other possible places, are we saying that's not Imam in different places? That's a spiritual elevated Adam. I'm getting mixed up with Adam being Imam and Adam being Khalifa. Are they two separate? I don't know the story of Adam very well.
Yeah, yeah. So Adam, when we use Khalifa, we use it for Adam because Khalifa title is actually for Adam. And for Imam, we say Imam. But in reality, both the words mean the same thing. The difference is that Imam is always from the progeny Mustaqar Imam, right? And Adam is someone who is Mustajib, and then Mustajib, being Mustajib, he elevates himself to get to the highest possible rank of becoming one with the Imam. So the terms which are used in Quran for Adam is Khalifa. And definitely in your group, you will be learning more about this. But to keep it simple and understanding, Allama Sahib is actually helping us to think outside the box actually. Imam is the Imam on the whole universe. It is Nur Maulana Shah Karim saying has Imam. Imam is one Imam on the whole universe. But what he's saying that why do we limit our thinking to this world, this universe, this planet, when we look at the universe itself, there are so many stars. Do we not think that the life can be there? And if life is there, can they not be different or more vicegerent? Meaning that when we think of Imam, definitely Imam is the one. But when we talk of Adam, who was actually from Mustajib, and the importance of Adam during this time is when we remember Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman that during the time of Qiyamah you can become Peer and Paigambar. That is what he's saying. That do not limit yourself to the personalities when you read about them in the history in the Quran, that is it. So Adam is not just one, Adams are multiple. And when we talk of Adam being vicegerent, meaning that he is the only one vicegerent, what about other planets or other stars? Can others not become vicegerent in those planets? So he's giving us this glad tidings or helping us to think broadly, go outside the box and think that if you were to become to that level, do we think that Mola Meherban makes us vicegerent in some other planet? Can it happen? Can you think like that? Or are you going to limit yourself? So it's challenging our thoughts.
Okay, so it makes sense when we remember Sultan Muhammad Shah's
For me.
in the memoir saying forces of centers, that line, this center, there are forces. I can't
Yes.
remember that exactly, but yes. Okay, thank you.
Shukr, shukr. Anyone else? All right then. Thank you so much, friends. Inshallah. So what is happening in different classes? Attendance is dropping and dropping. So that's why I think we need to be sure if there are enough attendance and you guys are kind of regular in this class. So it matters if you are there. If you one of you is missing, then we probably have to cancel this class too. So Naveen Saba is doing a good job of finding it out what is happening and what not. Uh, other than that, Shukran Mola, right? Naveen Saba? Good? We are good? All right. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yali Madat, Molali Madat, thank you so much.
Shukran Mola. Thank you, Shala. Yali Madad.